Here's something worth putting in a video. What this gentleman said on one of the news programs, they don't leave much time to talk about anything, but sometimes it's one thing, because it's this, but it's talking about the it's amazing like how like whatever the discussion, the sort of like remember the people in our Congress and the people who write for our magazines and people who do all this. This is like a lot of them are from that like sort of older, they're from like a different time period, is what it is. Like they're writing about things, but they're themselves a lot older than your narrator, for example. Like don't sort of not caught up with what's taking place. One thing they're mentioning is about jobs jobs that were lost lost because we're in an ongoing financial crisis, but it like the recognition of it was when it hit the higher classes during the major economic crisis. Okay, so here's the thing though, they're saying like, look, a lot of the jobs that were lost aren't coming back, and a lot of the people who left the workforce like aren't planning to return. They've given up looking for a job. Now here's the thing, it used to be that there may have been some legitimate. See, it used to be that when people talked about the problem of, there being a lot of government assistance for people who are out of work and stuff, that there was a time when people said, well, wait, does that create, or like, it's still talked about, like, does it create a culture of dependency? Do people not look for work if there's, all this? Is there, that's talked about a lot. But, well, what's new, and this guy just mentioned it, because wages are so low, okay? Because wages have reached the point where they're so low that like if you're on food stamps and unemployment insurance, you may not be able to do much better getting one of these like retail jobs or something, or it was with the minimum wage at like a absolute like poverty level. Other types of wages aren't particular. Things that are above the minimum wage still aren't things you can live on. And there really aren't many jobs. The ones that went away during the recession aren't coming back because we're still in a major crisis. It's just the investor class recovered. One of the things is this is a new type of situation where it's not what was, you can't have the conversation they were having in, I don't know, the 80s or whatever, which is saying like, well, geez, if there's all this different type of government assistance, why, people are gonna like say, well, I'll just, live off the state and not get a job or something. That was like a big talking. Now it's different. Wages are that low and going down, and a huge amount of jobs are gone. Well, right. I mean, if they why would you go look for a job that's paying so little that but just and you're right. I mean, the wages are so low that being on unemployment and food stamps may be the same, it may not be much of a difference. You get one of these other jobs, and those jobs keep being lost. And now they're finding new ways to, like, fire people that we just mentioned before. That means we have to have a new conversation about certain things. If they raise the minimum wage like they should, by the way, I like the idea that, although it's not, like, politically possible, because what the other party's doing, it would be a really, like, if the president could use an executive order to raise the minimum wage. I mean, but when the minimum wage is at starvation levels, right. I mean, what? Right. Then you can't say people are, to say it's a culture of dependency. It's not that. It's that no. I mean, you might do better living on, unemployment. I mean, that's a new economy we're living in. That's certainly not in America. It's not what we consider. That's not how the American economy was supposed to be. It's all stuff you associate with societies we would use like a sort of pejorative term to refer to. So, yeah, I mean, that's something worth mentioning.